Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fortress of Hope Church International Midrand Assembly YouTube channel.
Yes, this is the Youth Month edition. We're just really having conversations that are insightful about what it really is being a young person and Christian in this time and era.
It's definitely time to have such conversations as youth, don't you think?
Yeah, so you hang out with us as we dive deep into balancing reality and the spiritual life that you live as students.
Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are relaxed and you are excited about what we are about to discuss today. And I just want to say to you, do please join us as we discuss this thought provoking topic. How difficult is it to balance your reality and spiritual life as a student? Please take your popcorn, your scopas, join us. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fortress of Hope Church International Midrand Assembly. And we welcome you today to our youth discussions. I have a few guests here with me, and my name is Msizi Mabaso, and I will be your host today. And before we get to anything and we discuss anything that is interesting, I'd like for us to welcome our guests and just give them a chance to introduce themselves so you know who I have here today and what they are here for. So I'll start from my right-hand side and we'll go the way to the left. So yes, who do we have on the right?
Hi guys. Hi guys. So my name is Emmanuel. I'm one of the speakers for today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eli Lemchali.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna Timgoni.
Hi everyone, my name is Yola, also known as Utamiolana, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. We have everybody. You already had their names, and Utam Yolana is also here with us today. We didn't come alone, so please. You wondering what are we discussing exactly today? So we've just been exploring a few topics, and the one that we have today, which we believe is a thought-provoking one for ourselves over here, and also just for you who is listening and watching this with us. So we want to understand, I think, how difficult is it to balance our reality and our spiritual lives? Is it difficult at all? Exactly what is it? But like I said, I have a few, let's call them experts when it comes to student life. Not the topic, student life. And then I'll allow them to get into the topic with us. So let me hear from you guys. Maybe let's start this side this time around. You guys can let me know. What are your thoughts in this topic in itself? Let's start maybe with Uzi.
Thank you for having us. I think it's an interesting topic, one where you really do have to sit and think, what does it really mean?
Yeah.
But I think one thing that came to me was that you cannot separate your reality from your spiritual life. You cannot have them mutually exclusive. Once you do that, then it makes it more difficult. It doesn't make it any easier having them inclusive, not separating them, but the moment you have it mutually exclusive, it makes it so much more difficult.
Yeah. I don't know what you're saying about that. Let's give Utam Yolana a chance to let us know what he thinks about this topic.
Well, that's interesting. So it goes on how you structure or how you differentiate between reality and your spiritual life, because there's a reality, and then there's what's expected from you if you're leading a spiritual life. So in that case, if you'd be like, maybe let me break it down into two options. There's option one, the highway, option two, the higher way, of which it's my way anyway.
Yeah.
So you'd probably say, maybe in option one, that's when you try to separate your spiritual life and the reality.
Yeah.
And then option two, that's when you have your spiritual life in your reality. So now it gets to be easier if you're living your spiritual life in your reality than trying to say you're separating your spiritual life from reality. Yes,
That's quite interesting. So what I'm hearing from what maybe I think both of you are saying is trying to separate it is what brings the difficulty more than anything.
yes.
So let's try and not find a separation or a distinction between the two things. I'm not sure if we're hearing the same thing. What are your thoughts on this side?
Definitely. I think I'd just like to piggyback on what they've already said. You have to make a conscious effort to integrate God into your daily routines, into your daily activities. I think that's when it becomes not necessarily easier, but when you differentiate the two, it almost feels like you have to live in two different realities, and you have to switch and change to suit this one, and switch and change again to suit the other. It becomes two totally different things. So I think that integration is quite important. Yeah.
Interesting. Emmanuel.
I think I also share the same sentiments with the latter speakers, because when it comes to separating the two, there's a lot of management that comes in. And already as a student, there's a lot going on. So when you try to bring in spiritual life that comes with certain, I don't want to say rules, but there's certain guidelines and principles that do not really align with reality of university.
Yeah.
So the management part of the two subtopics, that's where the challenge comes in. That's where I think it's the most challenging part.
Yeah.
I think I like the point that he's coming with.
Yeah.
Emmanuel's coming with. So it could bring us to a point whereby maybe we'd try to clarify, maybe for our viewers as well, that, or maybe try to define the reality that we're talking about and the spiritual life that we're talking about. If maybe we can get like a clear definition on that one for also our viewers as well.
I think that's an interesting one, the point that you're raising. So when we say spiritual life and reality, because most of the time we think, from the conversations I think we've been having throughout our whole youth month, is that we categorize a time for church and a time for God, and then we categorize a time for school and a time for work. So we're saying, how do we bring you? I think it was last week and also during the week, we've been talking about identity. So, which is what we are bringing here. Where is our identity lying in? Do we carry our spiritual lives in our study life? And how is it easy to balance that with people who are not in tune with who we are? That's basically, I think, the separation and what we're trying to explain in that. And I think from what we've explained here before, I'm not sure if you want to add on that from your side, but from what we've said here, just trying to say, let us not leave church at church.
Yes.
Let us go with church to school.
Yeah.
Am I hearing that, or are we saying something different from there?
Definitely. I had this discussion with my aunt just the other day.
Yeah.
You can't expect to excel in your studies and just study and leave it at that. No. It needs to be coupled with your prayer life.
Yes.
You can't just do things, and that just doesn't, limit it to studying, but that's what I'm doing now. But in everything that I do, it needs to be coupled with what we're calling today my spiritual life. But that
Sure.
includes prayer, that includes worship, that includes fellowshipping, It's all just interlinked. So I
Yeah.
think what we're trying to really emphasize is the point that you cannot have a distinction
Yeah.
and expect to excel. It needs to be interlinked.
Sure. I'm not sure if we're saying the same thing. Is there anything, any more point this side? But before maybe I give you another chance to say anything further, to you who's watching this, who's listening to us, I know you already have a lot of thoughts. Some of you are even thinking there at home, like, if I was there, I was going to say 1, 2, 3, and 4, which I love. I really love that. So which means you are engaging and you are with us in this. But I want you to think about this. This is your challenge, which we are taking ourselves as a challenge as well, to say, how do we live here and go and integrate our spiritual lives and our normal lives in the different spaces that we interact in with the different people that we interact with, that we meet on a daily basis? How do we integrate the two and make it one? So that is a question that I have for all of us as we are leaving this place, and a conversation I have for you as you are at home. But before I go, I want to give our experts in student life and believers on Jesus Christ a chance to maybe give us a pointer, to say, there's somebody who's at home now who's thinking, this is an interesting topic. What do I need to do? What are the steps that I need to do? Like people read books in terms of how to get rich, like how to integrate this life as one. So I need you to maybe just to leave us with 2 points each, to say, what do I take? Like practical stuff that people can take with as they balance this life as a student and as a believer.
I think what has helped me
Yes.
is, as you mentioned earlier, that we not really leaving, like we come to church and then we leave church here for Sunday, and
yeah.
then it's like I'll meet you again. But how, like, taking that, the worship, the time you spend with God, the word, taking it into your daily life. And it becomes difficult. I think it even goes back to the question that you asked on how difficult it is.
Yeah.
It becomes difficult because you have your own goals that you're working towards.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find moments of stillness and moments where you're able to just indulge in what the Lord is doing and to interact with Him and engage with Him and spend time with Him. You know, so what has helped me is definitely not leaving church or God for Sundays.
Yeah.
I make Him a part of every day, and then also being a part of like supportive communities, if I may call it like that. For instance, I know here at church we have like our meetings, our Zoom meetings, our weekly meetings, and we also at the end of the month we have our Connect group meetings. You know, so that definitely does help. In my case, those two things.
I think I was definitely going to really build on the community and the people you surround yourself with. It's very important to surround yourself with people that you align with.
Yeah.
With the journey that you want to, that you see yourself in. You know, you can't. It can't be
Can't
two.
be an
It
island.
can't be
Can't
two
be an
different
island.
things.
Yeah, yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
So I think it's important to watch the people that you surround yourself with. Have people that will hold you accountable. Hey, did you actually pray today?
Yeah.
You know, having those type of people in your life is very important. Yeah, that's really what I was going to say. Just be careful of the community that you're in, because that will really just ground you when you need that support, because being a student is not easy.
Yeah.
Being a Christian is also not easy.
Yeah.
So just having that community that is just there to really support you, to ground you, and to mentor you. We can't, you know, this life
Definitely.
as Kal we have, so there are people that are older than us that have gone before us that are able to sort of guide us through this thing called life.
And as you're saying that, I'm thinking before I give Emmanuel and Yola a chance, the scripture says bad company corrupts good character. So good company elevates good character. Then I think the more we surround ourselves with the right people, the more we are able to build the right community and be able to grow as students. So even when you rush for that 5:30 bus in the morning to go to campus, remember to take that time as well. I think that's what you're saying. Take that church with you as you're going. Yes, sorry, Yola.
So, on my side, I think another thing that might help us, well, might help you as well as you're at home. Another thing that might help us in having the two, or rather balancing the two, is not creating those trying to create rules and all of that, you know, trying to fix yourself so that you're this person that we expect you to be since you saying you're living a spiritual life. So it's like, you know, when one goes to the barber, especially for guys, let me use guys, when you go to the salon, you go there with your messy hair, you know, your beard and all of that, you get there, and only then that the barber does the work. So you don't go to the barber with your nice chisco off and all of that. So it's like that, even in Christ. You go there as you yourself. You don't surround yourself, or you don't build these boundaries around yourself, because it's going to make it hard for you. Just present yourself as you are to God, and then He will work out everything. He will provide the balance that you actually need. And second point, I'd say, practice what we preach, you know.
And that's the most important.
If we practice what we preach, because here at church we preach love, we preach unity, and then when we go outside there, we get there, we meet different people that, well, may not have values that are so much aligned with ours, and then we start creating, you know, the gaps, the differences, you know. So if we practice what we preach, you know, paint this image so that even one who is not in our social life, even one who is not in our Christian or spiritual life, sees the greatness in Christianity, and then they be like, oh, you know, if I'd live like that as well, and then that's when we're also gonna gain souls into this life.
That's right.
Sure. Practicing what we preach.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just reminded as you say that, like it is touching me. But there's one speaker who once said, "We must preach the gospel at all times, and if necessary, use words." We must preach the gospel at all times, and if necessary, use words. So, which is what he's saying, practicing what you preach. The evangelism must be in your actions before it is even in what you say. So
that's profound.
That's a bar.
Emmanuel, I don't know, what do you have for the people at home?
I feel like the latter speakers have already taken every point. But I would like to emphasize the
Yes.
point of it is a personal journey, so you do not have to be perfect. So take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
If you feel like this journey is like sort of glamorous and everything,
Yeah.
don't try to be like Z.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Try to find guidance. Z, how did you start?
yes.
I try praying 3 times a day, but I can't. How can you?
Yeah.
So it's very important to find. They spoke about community. So find those people,
Yeah.
ask around.
Yeah.
There's so many advices you can find in the internet. There's so many podcasts. This is one of those things that you can look around and try to build a personal journey upon.
Yeah.
So it's very important to understand that it's a personal journey. You are not perfect from the beginning. You
Yeah.
build on whatever you're starting from and seek guidance, whether it's from a spiritual leader, a mentor, a friend, someone you aspire to be. Just ask, how did you do it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Sure.
my input.
Amazing. Okay. I think we've said a lot of things which I think are very, very, very uplifting and are really, really changing to our lives. But what I want to maybe hear from your side, guys, is there a moment, like from this discussion that we are having, where you can maybe just like give us your own personal experience? Where was it difficult to balance your spiritual life and your reality? Where was it difficult to take the church to school, like to the rest of your life, even to your families? I mean, like we have these things. So where was it? Where did you find that difficulty? Did you ever find any difficulty, or you are cruising nicely?
Definitely not cruising nicely. We tried to. I think from my personal experience, so I'm studying drama and film, and
Yeah.
we do theater,
Yes.
and we obviously work in groups at times, and it's large groups, sometimes it's smaller groups. It just depends. And now there it becomes quite difficult to really tell myself, it's no longer I who lives, but
Yeah.
Christ in me. It's so hard because it's like, I just want to tell you off, because how dare you speak to me like
Yeah.
that? How dare
Yeah.
you think my idea is not as important as yours? So there I think it becomes difficult. We're dealing with a lot of people, a lot of personalities, which is our real life in general.
Yeah.
And you have to cooperate with people and work with them and remember that the goal is Christ. Let them see more of Him in you.
Yeah.
So it does become difficult sometimes because, the flesh always wants to expose itself here and there and just say,
Sure.
yeah, I think
Oh.
that's where it becomes difficult for me.
Yeah.
Speaking-
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of which, you know how when you scrolling on your Instagram reels and on your TikTok, and then you come across these podcasts or maybe these videos where someone is talking,
Yeah.
well, not so great about Christianity, and
Yeah,
most of the times,
yeah.
or some of the times, you'll find someone saying, "I was once a Christian before, but this and this," and those were like, "I never left God, I left the church and all that." So you obviously you go through the comments because you're like, okay,
Yeah.
and then as you go through the comments,
Yeah.
a lot of things will move you, and you'll be like,
And you're like, hey, I get it.
and
yeah.
now that's another part that's kind of challenging because you're like, it's social media. And as much as you mad about what these people are saying, as much as you mad about them putting that on the name of Christ, you're like, well, there's that time when you're like, if they go low, I'm gonna go lower. But like
Yeah.
you choose to be the better person,
Yep.
be the bigger person, and then try to maybe if you feel the need to comment, just put like a nice comment on the and like try to show them that there's light on our side.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily like that. Or maybe for the best of it, you just might continue scrolling. Maybe just pray about them. That, oh Lord, have mercy on your children. That's it.
I just like I'm just thinking about it because I just thought I saw a moment that exactly of what he said. I was like, but just maybe as you are watching this, like, can you comment with your experiences as well in our comments? Can you just let us know? Let us see, maybe even how you responded to them, because then maybe they can help. Like, just like, please just comment and let us know how you responded to these situations. Emmanuel, sorry.
Okay, I think for me, I come across these things very often because I'm a medical student, so sometimes we do home visits.
Yeah.
So when you get there, you sit with the patient and you tell them the different approaches and different help that can be available,
Yeah.
but they choose to be like, no, maybe I'll just go to a sangoma. And deep down, I'm like, there's a God that can save you from this, but it's their
Yes.
autonomy. So as a
Sure.
medical student, I can't stand there and say, no, you can't do that. You rather choose this because it's their autonomy. I have to go with whatever they're saying. So the separation from me and understanding the patient because it's their word, that's where the challenge comes in.
Sure.
Yo.
Yeah.
And that can be very difficult. Can be very, because like you're saying now, it's the client's autonomy. They need to make the decision. Also, there's a conviction in you that says, this is what I believe in. And I think this is where we allow the Holy Spirit to just like take charge.
It's like it's like those workspaces where they say you're not allowed to vocalize your religion. You're not allowed to like, and I'm like, okay, but it's me. This is me. It's not my religion. It's me. It's who I am. So what do you make of that?
Yeah, and because sometimes, just to add to what you're saying, it's called being respectful when you don't speak about your beliefs, which is like, in that case, it would be like people would say you're disrespectful if you had to mention anything with God, like, oh, how
Why
about
are you
we just
forcing
pray?
us on yourself?
You are
Why are you
forcing
forcing?
us,
And it
so
gets to that. It
disrespectful,
really gets to
yeah.
that.
So silence has been seen as respect, and yeah,
And there's a lot of challenges when it comes to that respect.
Yeah.
Because I think our apostle said, every time you understand, you diminish your God. So by trying to understand who it's their autonomy or it's the work ethics, every chance you understand, you are diminishing the God that you believe in. So it becomes challenging to be like, but there's a God that I believe in.
Yeah.
He can make a way out of this,
Yes.
but I have to understand. So yeah.
that's right.
I think it also, so as a student, there's obviously other things that I do outside of being an accounting student. I take leadership positions around
Yeah.
the school, and sometimes you'll feel like, no man, you're actually disrespecting me and my beliefs by saying what you're saying. For example, I'll say, oh no, I can't have a meeting on Sunday at 10 because I'm at church,
Yeah.
or at Friday at 6 because I'm going to church.
Yeah.
It's like, when you're always at church, I'm like, yes, that is where I find my being. That is where I find my identity, my peace, my joy. Everything that I need is in church.
Yeah.
So you'll find that in the spaces that we are, whether it be at rehearsal, in class, or just in other conversations with other people, they feel so comfortable disrespecting your God, and it's like,
Sure.
you're disrespecting me, because God is who I am. He is
Exactly.
within me. So you can't,
Yeah.
Sure.
disrespect me like that.
True. It even goes with, like, they also put it in like priorities. Like they'd say, like, get your priorities straight.
Right.
No, I
Yeah.
did get it right.
That is my priority.
Yes,
That
this
is
is
part
priority.
exactly
Yes,
my
they see it as
priority.
like a, come on now, get your priorities straight. No, the reason I'm telling you I'm not available
Because it
because I
is
have to
my
go to church is
priority.
because that's the
My
priority.
Exactly.
Sure.
You
You
know?
can skip
Oh.
church for one Sunday. No, I
No.
can't.
You
That is my
yes.
well-being that you are,
In
messing
order for
up.
this degree to happen, I need to do
I need
church.
to go to
Absolutely.
church.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Exactly.
No, and yeah, sorry, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I just wanted to add another thing, that the most challenging part becomes you being alone. For instance, if you're in a leadership position, you being alone that believes in God. So when you say Sunday I have to be at church, now majority has to rule.
You're the only
The others,
person in the
if the other seven are saying no, we'll have a meeting at Sunday at 10, we have to because I'm the only one. So guys, we need more Christians in spaces that God has placed us.
take up space.
Absolutely.
Take up space. Take up
Ning
leadership.
aside.
Lead.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way we can, rule the world. Take the
No, very
gospel
true.
forward. That's what we need to do.
Absolutely.
No, very true. I mean, I think it was our last connect. Somebody said in that connect, we were just like talking about advancement. Somebody brought a point, which it's coming from what you just said now. Is outside of church, outside of just like studying, there are clubs that we get involved in, like social clubs, where you are a leader of that club or whatever that you're doing, and both what you said now is people will vote against you because, and then you feel like now you have that pressure. But another thing that gets done a lot, which I want us to be very conscious about, is the fact that people make jokes, and everyone just expect, like, it's like a joke about Christianity, and you're thinking, guys,
It's not funny.
it's where's the
Nothing about
respect?
it is funny.
Everything else people don't joke about, but when it comes to us, then you guys find that, and I think
Yeah.
that's where we need to be able to find that balance, and maybe more than a balance, to be able to, what we say is our identity, what we say we are, needs to also just like come out more. And again, Emmanuel is saying now, what Mfundisi was saying, the more we put our foot down about church, the more we put our foot down about our spirituality, that's where people will start respecting us even more. I'm not sure if I'm missing anything out. Are you guys ready? Have you exhausted everything? What do you want to give to the guys? I'm sure you guys are still here. You're enjoying this. You're like, we want more. But with that said, I just want to say thank you very much, guys. And yeah,
Maybe
Yeah.
all again we can emphasize on this that we'd like to see more of their stories, their experiences.
Yes.
Just write it down there on the
Comments.
comment section. Tell us what went down, what went up, anything. Yeah.
Might be back
everything,
with something.
everything. Because we are back next time. Thank you very much.